Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
All right, you guys, welcome back. This is your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
Yes, yay, Kat. Yay, it's you. We made it.
We
It's another week. Welcome back.
Unstoppable.
I know. It feels good. I feel like I always get real wiggly as soon as we start recording.
Do it. Let's get the wiggles out. You know how the teachers do that? It's like everybody just stand up and get your wiggles out and then sit down and be quiet.
Exactly. That's what we're here for. Nobody wants to see all that. So welcome back, you guys. Fake Ass Book Club. Back at it again.
Oh my God.
What a week, man.
What a week. So what happened this week?
Well, I got another spin around the sun there. I am a year older, so I got to celebrate my birthday.
Congratulations.
Being alive is
On
great.
another successful rotation.
Thank you, friend. Yeah, it was just a lot of love and a lot of I don't know, I feel a lot of gratitude coming into this episode this week. Not that I don't ever feel that, but it's just amplified, I think, around those times. Just getting all the happy birthday wishes and texts and calls, and it just makes my heart feel good. So
I can see it in your countenance. You're all glowy.
So it's just, I'm just coming off of a high, I think, from that. Plus we had a lot of fun. We had a little bit of weekend shenanigans and stuff like that. We got to go to the Made Man show on my birthday. Fun show. Definitely a fun show. I had a lot of fun doing that. Shout out to everybody over there. And I got some much needed family time too. Like, that's pretty much what I did today. I haven't been on social media hardly at all, so I do want to say thank you to everybody who popped on there to say happy birthday.
People like you.
It's nice, I like being liked. It's cool. So thank you guys for that. And we got to see Granny this weekend. We did her nails and hair. She was fabulous.
She was. That was super fun.
Yeah, so just good times overall. So yeah, man, just feeling like I'm in a good spot to start this episode off.
And the weather was so good. I feel like that makes such a big difference for me personally in my mood.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel so much better. I feel sad because I know it's about to go away.
I know. I kind of touched on that last week too. Just, my birthday always signals that time of year where it's going to transition into the fall and all of that kind of thing. And I think that's a really good segue into our book this week, you guys, because we are covering a book about seasons in a way. It's called The Fault in Our Stars, by John Green. Am I saying that right?
Oh, and you're going to say it again with confidence.
I am.
Fuck yeah, it's John Green.
Okay, John Green. I didn't have my notes up when I said it, and then I instantly doubted myf. But this week, you guys, I was like, John Green?
Am I making that up? That sounds like a name you make up, where it's like John Green.
That's him. And what's crazy is that when you recommended this book, of course, I knew that there was also a movie. I wasn't familiar with him at all, but I guess I had actually seen one of his, he had another book that was turned into a movie that I had seen a long time ago, but I just didn't know. No, I didn't see that one. It's like Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Of course, I just knew you were going to know it and you were going to pick it up right there for me.
I just knew Paper Town.
Dang.
Sorry.
Dang it. Hold up. Now I want to look it up.
I know, right? Oh, I'm trying to click on my screenshot.
Don't do that.
Do you ever do
Looking for Alaska. Not really, friend. I mean, but I see how it happens. Not like.
It's okay. I'm
sorry. I couldn't support you.
I do that sometimes when I'm drawing, like on paper, like I'll try to zoom in.
I think maybe too, you spend more time on screens because you have to too, I think. And you're, you know what I mean? I do spend a decent amount, but not, I can only imagine how much more time you spend. Anywho, but yeah, Looking for Alaska was the movie.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Yeah, I saw the movie, which was really good. I remember enjoying the movie. Yeah. So anyway, he's a good writer is what I found out this week.
Yeah.
And no wonder you knew who he was, because he is famous, like you said.
I told you. He's totally famous. And actually, because he calls his followers nerd fighters.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And because he got a lot of traction by having a YouTube channel with his brother Hank, and they were the Vlog Brothers.
Okay.
And but I guess this isn't his official. Do we have like an official thing about him?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, guys, before we
Okay.
get into him, I'm going to let you know a little bit about this book that we're covering today. So, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green is a young adult fiction novel that narrates the story of a 16-year-old girl who's diagnosed with cancer. She joins a support group where she meets Augustus Waters, and there's a roller coaster of emotions throughout this novel as the relationships between Hazel and Augustus develops. And yes, that is the book this week, you guys. Get into it, okay? Love story, sickness, tragedy. It's all there. So John Green, all the stuff Kat said, of course. But here it says, this is from his website. John Michael Green is an American author, YouTuber, podcaster, and philanthropist. His books have more than 50 million copies in print worldwide, including The Fault in Our Stars, which is one of his best-selling books of all time. Boom.
No, it's one of the best-selling books of all time.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Let me get my words right.
Oh yeah, put some respect on his name. It's one of the best-selling books of all time.
That's pretty impressive.
I was able to get it free from the library though.
I was too, thank goodness. I got the audiobook, you guys, so don't worry.
I did too.
It was very, very cool. And yeah, honestly, I'm surprised I didn't know who he was before now. Actually, I'm not surprised, but I don't know about half the stuff.
You're not omnipotent. I don't know most of the people. Like most of the people who are, I don't know who they are.
I know. It's kind of sad. We can't know all the people. But now I know him. Yeah. And I know his book. And I am excited to talk about this book today. But before we do, friend, we should dedicate this episode. Should we? All
Strong
right.
agree.
Hands over your hearts, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again, you guys. We appreciate you. Special shout out to our patrons. I can't say enough how much I and Kat appreciate you guys. It's humbling that you stick with us, and we truly do appreciate it. If you guys haven't signed up for our Patreon, I don't know why you haven't. You can go to Patreon/The Fab Podcast. We have a nice catalog of content for you guys. And as time moves on, we're going to be adding some really cool stuff. So definitely join. Also, I wanted to dedicate this to, honestly, just feeling a lot of gratitude this week. I kind of touched on that already. But, just reading this book actually really did put me in a really, really centered space of gratitude and just being grateful for life and all the love and my health. Honestly, I almost feel like I should just do a special one dedicated just to your health, because if you don't have that, people can live with pain. I'm just glad I get to live right now. I'm not complaining about anything. I have everything, so I'm truly grateful for that. So yeah, that's my dedication. What about you, friend?
Strong agree. That's the power of books. Man. They center, they really help to do that. But strong agree that it really is, man. L'chaim to life. And I'm gonna do 2 dedications. Mine, first one's going out to the Made Man crew. Thanks for giving us such a great evening and for helping to give Moni the celebration she deserved. I wasn't able to give her. I had to go back home, but y'all. I was so happy to hear that she was able to do that. And my second dedication is going out to this short film on Netflix, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. And it's a Wes Anderson adaptation of a Roald Dahl story. So I was the guy who did James and the Giant Peach and Matilda, the guy who wrote those books. Yeah. Okay. He's and apparently they have a whole rolled I feel like I'm always saying it's hard for me to say it, but Roald Dahl, they have a whole collection. So I'm looking forward to watching that this week on Netflix. And it makes me happy to be alive that I get to experience that.
Seriously. Dedication over. So man, I'm just telling you guys, this book took me through my fifis. It had me in my actual fifis, though. And, it's largely a love story. So, I kind of gave the loose outline before. Our main character is Hazel, and she's, cancer, and it's terminal. She knows that she's going to die from complications from her illness. And I think that probably puts you in a certain mind frame. And so it's very character driven, and it's, it just was like, I don't know, man. Like, I liked hearing the story from her perspective. I liked the way he wrote the characters.
Her voice.
Her voice was really
strong. It's also a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was adapted into a movie in 2014, I want to say. And it also excellent, because a lot of times there's a lot of criticism when you're going from a beloved book. Let's take Harry Potter, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
We've heard a lot of criticisms over the years about how the movies were just terrible and the books were...
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who enjoyed both, but I could see how people could be disappointed, you know what I mean? But for me, there was just too much joy that it existed for me to actually be upset. So, but this is a good movie and a good book.
It was a good movie. I actually watched it too, so that I could do the comparison, or just so I was just curious to know, like, did they make it pretty close to the, movie, or was it vastly different? Which I felt like they did a really good job. It was pretty close. It wasn't exactly like...
No, it never can be.
Right, but it didn't need to be. It was close enough. Like, I felt like they put enough of the main parts of the story in there. So, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. 2014 is when that came out. I'm just now seeing it myself.
That's the beautiful thing about media.
Yeah,
it's here for us whenever. I mean, because the title itself is a reference to Shakespeare.
Oh, I know, right?
And so we only get to experience that because of media. It's been able to survive through the ages because of that. And so whenever you get to it, that's when you get to it.
Absolutely.
Because what were you doing in 2014? Did you have some sort of child thing?
I did. I had a whole baby.
Yeah.
Did that. Creating life or whatever. No big deal.
So maybe not time to see the latest in young adult films.
First of all, I wouldn't have been able to look at that. Okay? That was already almost 2 years after my heart grew like the Grinch. And then it just basically kind of imploded on itself after I had my daughter.
Freaking estrogen,
like,
man. It's just empathy juice.
I wouldn't have been able to handle it. So I'm glad I didn't see it. Like, it took me till now, and I still cried.
I am a puddle. Here's a warning. I'm trying to be professional, but I can't. I was trying to tell my daughter about it because we were listening to it in the car, and she wanted to know what happened. And I was like, no, I don't want to spoil it. She was like, girl, I was like, okay. So of course I spoiled it, but like I couldn't do it without crying. Like just saying what happened sent me into tears. But before we get into that, because I already feel it welling up, I wanted to give some nerd lore about the book. Because in the beginning, there's an author's note where he was like, this is a work of fiction, and fiction is,
fiction
still important, but later on, he went on to admit this was based on a friend of his. Like,
really?
This was based on a friend of his, I think named Esther, who ended up dying from cancer, and when she was like 16 or something. And so it was, it is still fit, like he's taking liberties and stuff like that, but he said that to kind of protect her privacy, but then ended up admitting like, it was kind of based on a real person.
So do you think that we need to, I gave the summary. Do you want to do a beat by beat situation, or do you want to just sort of dig in there?
I think we do a beat by beat for people so spoilers coming, we always do spoilers. We don't do spoiler free reviews ever. So just blanket spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
But you were starting it with you do it, you start it and I'll finish it.
Okay, well, let me go back to what I had here.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Go back. Okay, so basically, Hazel, 16 years old, she's diagnosed with a kind of cancer that there's no cure for. But she is also doing.
But when she was a lot younger.
Yes.
Because she's had cancer a while.
Right, because she was pretty young when she was diagnosed. It's terminal, but like, and she should have died. I mean, she had an encounter in the hospital where her lungs pretty much filled up with fluid. They thought she was pretty close to death, but with her treatment that she had, antibiotics, chest tubes, and all that kind of stuff, she ended up surviving and then getting into this clinical trial that kind of helped extend her life, to an extent. And so she has been able to she still has some kind of a life, but she basically has oxygen all of the time. She can't breathe on her own. It affects her lungs, can't go to school, all of that kind of stuff. So she's pretty isolated and most likely depressed. And so her mom and doctor, in an effort to kind of like get her out the house, get her around people who maybe share a similar, journey, if you will, they encourage her to go to this support group, which by and large she is not impressed to go, but she ends up meeting this young man, Augustus Waters, and he just instantly like is attracted to her instantly. It's a mutual attraction, and it kind of just follows their love story basically. And he also has cancer, obviously. His wasn't like the kind of cancer that you're supposed to die from, because the outcomes are usually pretty good.
He had an 85% chance survival rate.
Exactly. And so
for his cancer. So he had like the Cadillac of cancer.
Yeah, his was like more in his bones, but it ended up metastasizing, which means it just spread throughout his body, and it ends up killing him in the end, basically. And so you think she's going to be the one to die first. But not before
they're able to take the trip of a lifetime to visit her favorite author who wrote this book about dying. And she was obsessed because the book just stops, because that's how you die. Like, you're alive, and you're dead. And so, but she wanted to know what happened to the characters after the main character dies. And the guy was like, well, I'll tell you, but you have to come in person. And Peter Van Houten is this author that Augustus uses his Make-A-Wish to go see. And because it was a surprise, because the whole thing is like the whole time she's fighting their love, because she's like, I'm a grenade, like, you're gonna fall in love with me and I'm gonna die and everyone's gonna be all sad, so I think the less people I encounter, the less harm. What did you think about that strategy?
I mean, I feel that, I just think that that would be probably my natural reaction to something. Like, I don't want to be attached, but at the same time, it's like, cancer is long suffering anyway. So like, why are you depriving yourself from some kind of joy? You know what I mean? And even he told her at one point, like, I'm ready for you to break my heart. It'd be a privilege, because, these are experiences that we aren't going to have a chance to, we aren't going to have a chance to have. And so, okay. No, do not start that right now. Don't do that. What I'll say is I usually don't, like, love stories aren't usually my go-to picks, right? Like a story that's just centered around like a love story. A romantic story. Yeah. Like, not like there aren't good ones, but it's, it's not my go-to.
I think we have that in common.
Yeah. But this one I liked because, for one, it was like, now, we've poo-pooed on young love before, like, on here. And it's like, oh, they touched hands. Who cares? Like, we've done that a lot. Don't make that face. We have. But this...
No, I had something in my eye.
Okay, But so we... like, it did... I feel like the reason why it sort of landed for me was that, the impermanence of life is not something that's always front of mind when you're healthy, when you have your health. It's something you totally take for granted. Like, the fact that I can just do this, moving my arm, it doesn't hurt. Like, me taking in a breath, it doesn't hurt. I think when you know you're gonna die, like, of complications of a disease that's like basically ripping you inside out every single day, I don't know. I feel like that frame of mind changes everything. Like, it does. It can. It has the potential to. Like, I liked that. that Gus's sort of viewpoint was to take it all in. Like, even if he was just like looking at her, he was like, and she's like, what are you looking at? He's like, I think you're beautiful. Like, he would just say whatever was on his mind, and it felt really genuine because he was like, there's not a lot of pleasure in this life that I'm gonna have. So I'm not gonna deprive myself of these small joys. Like, I like looking at beautiful people. I think you are, and I'm gonna look at you. You know what I mean? And like how endearing and like how sweet and like pure that is. It's just so cute. It was just like they were adorable, and I couldn't hardly take it. I'm not even gonna hold you. It was bad.
I would say like I did enjoy like seeing them grow I guess because it wasn't super cutesy like Isaac and his girlfriend.
Yeah, they're just like making out.
If the story had been about, their romance, I'd have been like, gross.
Yeah, that part.
It's like always, smush, smush, smush.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, theirs was a more tempered sort of, and very honest.
Very
like,
much.
There's something really beautiful about someone you can be that honest with.
And shady.
And shady. Well,
I love that.
I mean, that's usually the easiest way to be shady is to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Just unfiltered honesty. Ooh.
It's like, here we go.
Brutal. But I couldn't co-sign with her strategy of like, no, I cannot to love me is to, cause harm. But I think that's true for everybody. Like, ultimately, because eventually love was calling her name. There's nowhere to run.
Yeah.
But, when she was trying to fight it, it's like there's no guarantee who's gonna even die first. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, every love in your life you're taking, for one, someone's gonna get hurt because nothing lasts forever. Yeah. So you don't get. I take more of the approach like just love as much as you can when you can, because of course it's not gonna be forever. And of course, in her case, it's like you're pretty sure about how you're gonna die, and you're probably right. But her assumption was that she was gonna break his heart and leave her alone. But ultimately, his cancer came back and he died on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, can I say too? Because I read this maybe 10 years ago, and was like weeping in bed. I was still married at the time, and my now ex was like, why are you crying? And I was like, this book is so sad. And he was like, well, stop reading it. And
I feel like he has said this
to you. I have to find out. But when his eulogy, his funeral scene.
Yeah.
Like, I actually didn't finish the audiobook because I didn't think anyone was going to be served by. You notice how, like, when I came to the Made Man show yesterday and, like, my face wasn't puffy and there wasn't mascara running down my face.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I wasn't, horribly depressed. You notice that wasn't going on?
You looked great. Yeah.
Thank you. Since I stopped the book.
It was like, yep, and I know what happens.
Because I know for the rest of the end of this book, I just don't stop crying.
It was pretty sad.
Yeah, but beautiful.
I think that's what's hard though. Like, I think for somebody who feels like I want to try to minimize the damage here. It's like there's just no such thing as that. I think that's what I have been learning through, I don't know, really having kids. I mean, I think it with your parents to an extent. But there's just no avoiding being hurt. And I think you're really just playing yourself. Like, it's honestly...
Love wrecks you.
That is just what happens. Like, it's the side effect. Like, you just can't have the good without the bad. And it's like you have to be willing to really embrace all of it. Because life is going to swallow you up anyway. So what I really loved was, so the first time they met, Augustus was just going to the support group for his friend who had cancer that was affecting his eye. So he had a glass eye, Isaac, yep. And his other eye was probably going to get taken. It hadn't been at the time, but he was there supporting him. And so Augustus had to get up and introduce himself. And the guy asked him, the leader of the group, which we can get on him and that whole setup. What are you afraid of? What scares you or whatever? And he was like, oblivion, his whole thing was like, I want to make a mark on this world. I want people to know I was here. I want my death to mean something. I want my life to mean something. I don't think that I ever got to anything that profound at 17, 18 years old. I just never did. You know what I'm saying? So like part of me was, really?
Yeah, I just
you wanted to die and live for something?
But I also read Ozymandias. I also knew like that's pointless too. Like even if
I don't even know what that is. So
huge...
I don't even know what that is. What you just said.
It's a poem.
Okay. So listen, for you guys out there who, my fake ass book club people, right? Like, you know, reading was always something I enjoyed, but I'm not like, to me, this book was a little, I won't say pretentious, but pretentious in that way, like to me, because it's like that to me is not the average person is just a lot slower than you are. Like, not people, we don't know what the Prometheus is or whatever it is you're talking about. I think that it takes, all I'm saying is it probably would have took me having cancer or something like that, or something terminal, to get to that point at that time in my life. Like, that's because I just wasn't there with it. I didn't have any real reason to be super introspective. I was fine being basic. Like, I wasn't contemplating the enormity of the universe or my own obscurity yet. Like, I hadn't really gotten to that. So their banter around that was really, I liked it, and I feel like that's what connected them, because he said that to her, and then she was on the opposite end. She was like, this shit's gonna blow up. Nobody's gonna remember the most memorable shit that you can think of, let alone your ass, and ignore it like everybody else, because that's basically what you have to do to survive. Like, so I just think that was like a nice little contrast, and that kind of intrigued him and kind of got them hooked in. And I was like, it was just so cute and sad.
It was. I mean, it was a masterful collection of the human experience.
It was. I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, it was very compact, and seeing it play out in the lives of these like Indiana teenagers, which should have just been like basic, but it was profound.
It was,
and it was kind of fun because there were a lot of landmarks we could relate to.
It was
like
fun.
North Central, like that's where Augustus went to school. What else? Oh wait, we're on Ozymandias. Okay, so it's just a story basically about one of the big. It's like, look upon my works in despair. Like, it's just this idea that you can create these monuments. Your name can ring out for the ages, and you'll still be forgotten. So, you know, but to me that doesn't make it pointless. It's just like, I like the things that matter to me, and I like mattering to other people. I don't think I have to have cosmic significance to be fulfilled.
Yeah, and I don't know that he was going for cosmic, but I think, you know, it was even cute. Like, even when they were playing like video games, like he wanted to save her in the game. Like, he wanted to be the person that, like, you know, he'll put himself in front of somebody. I'm like, that is wild. Like, I mean, I haven't felt like that since till I had kids. Like, again, like, that is just not.
I think when I was younger, I remember after the death of my grandfather, I remember, you know, I thought about thinking about death a lot more. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, you read all these books, you know, it's a huge theme in literature.
But I think too, you've touched on something there too. I think people who have faced death a lot, you get to that quicker. I don't remember losing, like, outside of my grandparents when I was a teenager, like, I hadn't really lost anybody super close to me. And I think that does that too, because that does something to you, because it puts you closer to it. Like, there just has to be something, like, I think,
there's a cliff we're all going to fall off of.
Yeah.
And we all have our back to it, but I'm like, if you look over your shoulder, there's that cliff there.
Yeah, but and then you see people dropping off.
To mostly look ahead, but every once in a while you'd be like, there went Frank. And it's like,
well, don't look ahead too far, because then now you're worried. You know what I'm saying? So that's where anxiety comes from. So really, just try to be where you are now, because you don't know when your foot's slipping off that damn cliff.
Yeah,
it could be.
You gotta hover. Like, I don't want to jump off too quick, because I like being a person. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, man.
But
let's talk about the literal heart of Jesus. I don't know why that detail cracked me up. Okay, I just thought
the actor who played him was perfect.
He did a great job.
Nailed that vibe of kind of toxic positivity. I think, because that's the thing too about these kids. It's like, you can't, you know, like, because for them, she even brought up the point, like, these kids have funeral suits. You know what I mean? Like,
it's wild, yeah.
Yeah, like, we have somebody added to the list every, you know, couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of who
Yeah,
died.
well,
And
so we're referencing the support group at like their local church, and
it was like
the
in a church
leader of it,
basement.
and he was, and for our protagonists, they both enjoy books, so the abuse of the word literally just really,
It was
it
bad.
pushed my buttons too. It's like, no, we're figuratively.
We are not in the literal heart of Jesus.
Let's
We're
bring
not.
figuratively back.
Yeah, where did it go?
I don't know. I think because literally is easier to say than figuratively. It's more.
Yeah.
Is it more? Yeah, like
Yeah, more.
We are, and it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't hit as hard. But it's the same thing. People Google literally what it means and irony. And
irony gets messed up all the time.
All the time.
I had to explain it to my
me.
son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that it was super relatable because it was giving church basement vibes where you're going to vacation Bible school, and also this gentleman, he had cancer at some point and it was in his testicles. So I like not that I like the reference to him having that. God, that sounded bad. It was just funny because as teenagers, you know what I mean? She's like, he keeps talking about this fucking ball story like every single time, every week, like,
And I think it was cool they made them say like their name and what cancer they have. If the whole point of this is to be like, you're not your disease, why do I have to say what disease I have? We're obviously here because we have a disease.
Yeah, we already kind of know what that is. It's just one of those things.
But like the specific one is like, I have a neoblastoma. And it's like,
osteosarcoma.
Just being, and because they're children, they'll do what you say do. But it's like, they don't really need to, they could just say their name.
Show up. They're here. Isn't that enough?
Yeah, you don't want to be like, yeah, this is Jim Ball Cancer. It's like,
oh my
no.
God. Jim Ball Cancer. Wow. Or Ball Cancer Jim. Let's just put Ball Cancer before we put his name, because that's really fucked up.
Right. Like an Asian surname. That goes first.
Ball Cancer Jim. That's
whatever.
terrible.
Or just, why don't we just get that? And it's like, I'm actually just going by my oncologist name because I hear their name more than my own. So...
Not Ball Cancer Jim. I'll never get over that.
Yeah, but I will say this for Mr. Green. His descriptions, I could feel myself tasting that instant lemonade and that, styrofoam cup. He really took me there.
I mean, every single part of it. I really even just liked the dialogue. Like, I liked, even though I felt like it could be like, it's a little pretentious, a little bit. I mean, because they're high school students. But then also it made sense.
Well, technically Hazel was in college. She got her GED.
That's what I was going to say. It makes sense in the context of the story, though. You know what I'm saying? You can tell they're bright kids. And, like, again, a lot of times when you're isolated, whether it's, for whatever reason, books are your friends. Your friends. And so, like, in, that book that she loved so hard, it was so cute. They swapped books because she was like, he was like, tell me about you.
What was it?
Oh, man, why don't I know this? I just watched the movie. Okay.
Right? That seems like it was so important.
You shouldn't even have tried. I know. You should have waited until you knew it.
An imperial debacle. That's not it.
No.
And it was super cute, too, because she gave him this, like, super deep book, and he gave her, like, a sci-fi novel.
Right. It was a, what was it?
It was like space.
It was one of his video games, like one of his favorite video games. Like
it was a video game. Okay,
yes,
but she said, but it must have been good because she went and got the following two books, so it couldn't have been too bad.
Damn it, I'm gonna find it. Hold up.
An Imperial Affliction.
That
was it. That was for my brain ball. It gave me the answer.
It did. See, it was coming.
Yeah, Imperial Affliction by Peter Van Houten. And I'm so mad at my brain, too, because every time they said Peter Van Houten, I thought of Milhouse, because that was Milhouse's last name from The Simpsons.
Oh, I forgot that.
I didn't. That was the Van Houtens. And so...
Not Milhouse. I forgot about him. Okay.
Everything's coming up Milhouse.
Everything's coming up Waters. He said that in the book.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Listen, I bet
He's a smarty pants.
I would bet $10 that John Green is a Simpsons fan.
He probably is.
Because it's very good writing. Like, I think that, he could probably write a hell of a, like, Simpsons spec script. For all I know, he has.
All that. He probably has. What did you think about the casting in the movie versus, like, how you pictured these kids looking in your mind?
That's exactly how I pictured them.
Really?
Yeah. Like, well, maybe like Hazel would be a little skinnier.
Oh gosh, she was
Um,
already pretty skinny. I couldn't
she
imagine that.
was, but I mean,
But
the way she
okay.
was describing it in the book, like,
Yeah.
it's a you've seen people who are being treated for cancer. It is a certain look. But I mean,
Mhm.
I wouldn't say you should necessarily do that for a movie. She seems like she is still an actual
Mm-mm.
young girl in real life and maybe shouldn't starve herself for a movie role.
No, that's bad.
But other than that, like, yeah, the parents, Isaac, I don't think I would have done a little bit different. Like the way they described him, like his glasses were supposed to be real thick. Like you were basically supposed to know, like right away looking at him, something was up.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell.
Yeah, you can really tell from that actor. And then the guy who played Peter Van Houten, he was the Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
He was. He was.
Yeah, he's good at playing an old rich crank.
Yeah, and he didn't look anything like they described him in the book. He was slovenly, like and gross in the book. And I was like, ooh, who are they gonna make for him? I can't wait.
Oh, he had neck beard.
Nah, that ain't enough. Like the way they described him, they even like described his feet because I was disgusted. I was like, ew, he sounds disgusting. And like sweaty and large. Like I was just picturing something else.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I guess I didn't concentrate on that too much. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like the casting was
did
overall.
good,
It didn't
though.
take me out of it.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it didn't
think
take me out.
sometimes-
And the actress who played her mom was really good too, at playing that kind of because this was the thing that was interesting to me, why with her fascination with finding out what happens in the book. And I thought it was actually really sweet because obviously she's like, I'm not worried about myself. I already know what's going to happen to me. Like, I want to know, like, what's going to happen to the people I leave behind.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
that's
her big
what-
fear.
I mean, wouldn't it be though?
Yeah, it is. That's the worst part of it. Because you can't do anything about your own death.
Oh, because she's an only child.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they thought she was dying, she overheard her mom say, I'm not going to be a mother anymore. Ah!
Mm-hmm. Don't do it, friend. Don't do it. Well, and the fact that she was thinking about her parents, but so think about what grief does to families, though, friend. Like grief does. I mean, the statistics, I don't have them in front of me, but I know that I've read something before about how families, they get divorced. Like people, they break
Yeah.
up. Like sometimes your
You wanna
kids
get
be the
so
only
far
thing
away
keeping you
from
together.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or you're just depressed, or you don't. I mean, like it's very unnatural to have to like bury your children. Like no person should ever have to do that. And so, I think one of her main concerns was like they just weren't going to find any joy in their lives. So like that scene was particularly touching because, she was like, "Are you guys gonna like just fall apart when I'm gone?" You know what I mean? Like I don't. Like, I want to know that you guys are still going to be able to, like, move on and stuff. And she was like, you know better than anybody that you can live with pain. You do it all the time. It's hard, but you just keep doing it. It's not that it gets easier. You just keep doing it.
Well,
that's
I
life.
always love a book within a book. So the Imperial Affliction, one of the quotes they loved was, pain demands to be felt. And it's true.
Mm-hmm. You just can't avoid it. There's no avoiding it, man.
Can't.
And so, like, to me, that puts in perspective the point, like, maybe that was being discussed is, like, is it better to try to pretend like you're not going to have an effect on the people around you? Do you not fully participate in order to limit yourself and other people from stuff? Or do you just balls to the wall out here? Do you just go in there?
Like, everybody better be really, I mean, not that I'd feel weird if people weren't sad when I died. Like, yeah, you should be like sad. Like
for a minute, not like forever though.
Not forever.
Like,
no, not forever. But I mean, that's the thing with.
Well, look at Van Houten.
Well,
that's what
I don't think that alcohol helped.
Well, that was a direct response to losing his daughter from cancer. I think that's the story that was being told. Like some people deal with grief. She doesn't want her parents to turn into his ass. Because that's a real option.
Yeah, it is. But
that's
I love that the mom was like, because wasn't her thing she's going back to school after she
that
dies?
was so nice. Yeah.
Because that scene.
Well, no, she was already back in school.
Oh, she was
hiding it. Yeah, she was hiding being in school because I think her parents felt like if they saw them preparing for after she was gone, it might make her feel like they weren't there with her now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then, but she was having the opposite concern. She was scared that they were just going to fall apart and dissolve into dust.
Which is why you should always just be honest.
So when that finally came out, she was so excited to hear, like, oh my God, thank God, like you'll make such. Because what was the Heart of Jesus man called? Do you remember his name?
No.
Peter. What was calling Peter?
No,
guy?
Peter's the writer. That'll be confusing.
Oh, sorry. Maybe that's why I said Peter.
We'll call him Tim Ball Cancer.
Yeah, that's. On the microphone. Oh no, not Tim Ball's Cancer. How could I forget that was his name?
I'm sorry, Youth Pastor Tim Ball Cancer.
No, Ball Cancer Tim. You keep mixing that up.
So messed up.
Now I even forgot what I was even trying to say because of that. I hate your guts for that.
No, that's on me.
Jeez, man. Now I don't even know where I was going with that. But
well, no, we were talking about them moving on from, like, because the mama.
Oh, the mom was gonna be a better version of Ball Cancer Tim. You know, like her. She said that she wanted to dedicate her life to helping families and parents like deal with losing somebody, because that is such a specific and terrible thing and experience to go through that. You know, I do think it's probably meaningful to have people around you who understands what that feels like. Because I think it's a hard place to be in when you've never been there and you're like tasked with like trying to comfort somebody. Like, it's like, I don't even, like, I have no point of context for this. Grief already makes people super weird. And it's awkward on both sides because it's like, I don't know what to say. There's nothing I can say to make you better. How can I show up for you? You know what I mean? Like, how do I show up for you?
I like the fact that they took time out to acknowledge the healthcare workers, because doing that day in and day out must be. God. Once again, obviously, I couldn't do it. Like, I would be just a puddle. Like, it's like, hey, ma'am, you're making this about you. It's like, I'm sorry, I can feel your feelings. It's like, so,
and that's not helpful. And but at the same time, like, there has to be this balance that I don't know if it exists, because, you know, working in healthcare, you know, I see doctors and, you know, you wonder how they can just come in and say all this stuff to you and be sitting there looking at you blinking like, did you get all that? And it's because they've done it. So you see so much grief, you see so much sadness, you see so much sickness all of the time that you would not be able to do your job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
if you literally couldn't,
if you absorbed it all. And putting that wall up. So I think that's what Peter Van Houten did. I think instead of trying to find joy, you know what I'm saying, in his life, he was like, I'm just gonna die. I'm just gonna
make sure it all sucks so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Yes. Because I feel like that gives you this false sense of like
safety.
You're controlling
it's like, haha, this is already terrible. Nothing terrible can happen to me.
Yeah. This is already the worst case scenario right here.
Right. But I mean, that's the thing. Things can always get worse. In the same way, things can always get better. Yeah. Like, I have a friend who's going through a breakup now. And I always tell him, it's like, look, things are bad right now, but it's going to get better. Then it's going to get worse. And it's going to get a little worse than that. Then it's going to get better. It'll get slightly better. And then it'll get bad again, because that's just going to be your whole life. Yeah. Like, it's just a bunch of ups and downs. You don't get to, like, I know I like, whenever anybody asked Augustus, like, how are you doing? He's like, I'm on a roller coaster that only goes up. And it's like, no, you're not.
Nope.
Oh, because that was the other thing, too, because he had already had a girlfriend that died from cancer.
Oh, yeah. They didn't really hit on that in the movie.
No, not so much. But the book, because I had kind of forgotten about that. And so, and just the natural reaction of like, let me look her up on Facebook. See what that's about.
I'm curious.
I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same.
Yeah.
And that was part of her reason too, why she was like, well, I don't want to put you through that again. You already lost, you know,
somebody.
And to lose somebody again. But like I said, we're all gonna lose each other some kind of way. Like, you know who else taught me this?
Who?
You want to guess?
Granny?
I mean, kind of.
Oh, your auntie?
Not a person per se.
Oh,
it's
life?
more of an institution.
Catholic Church.
It was a TV show. No, it wasn't Catholicism.
Trek.
I did. Yes, you said Star Trek, and you're right. Yes, Star Trek. Star Trek is very much about dealing with the finality of life and what we're going to be to each other as human beings. Like, are we going to just be,
The
particles
worst.
blowing in the wind, or are we going to make conscious decisions, because we are sharing consciousness? Like, that's something we all have in common. So we could always, and consciousness is painful. It's joyful, but a lot of it's painful. So at least there's,
It's
oh,
that or
it was
nothing.
Patrick testicular cancer. It wasn't Tim
Oh, I
Ball
meant you
cancer.
were
I
really
actually looked it up. I pulled the movie up.
Tim Ball cancer.
It
Oh my
was
God.
Patrick testicular
Okay.
cancer.
Pat with the broken sack.
Pat my
Okay,
balls.
got it. Yeah. Okay, got it. Love when balls can make an appearance on the episode. It's been a while.
Yes. We don't nearly
know?
talk about genitals enough.
We don't. It's crazy. What's
Oh,
going
man.
on around here?
Ugh.
My gosh. Yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster of emotions. And, I don't know. It just made me feel like, oh, that was really beautiful and sad at the same time. And so I
that's
was not
life.
expecting all of that. It is. And so again, gratitude, that's the full circle of it all. I was like, wow, like it just makes you be like, let me make sure. I feel that every day working in the hospital too anyway, but also, just feeling like I got to be in these people's story, like in this world. He did a really great job of world building. And getting a really strong sense of the characters and stuff. And I loved the little smoking cigarette thing that he did, where he always had a cigarette. He never smoked them, but it was like he just put them in his mouth. It's like, this is the killing thing, but I'm never giving it the power to kill you. Because at first she was like, I know you're not fucking about to smoke a cigarette, you nasty little bitch.
They did start their,
disgusting.
you finish how you start. That was honest. She was like, okay, you cannot be this stupid.
Right. Like, I know you're not lighting up a cigarette. You see me with this nasal cannulas, okay? Like, I wish I could breathe good. Nasal cannulas.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were called that.
Yeah.
Funsies.
And yeah.
That's a funny
and
word.
he was like, no, cannula is funny. That might pop up on a word search for you. Put that in the memory
maybe
bank. Cannula.
I'm doing a little crossword, because they do love to use medical terms, because those are weird.
Because you don't hear them all the time. But
now I will say I
like
really loved the quote, like one of her oncologists used to say, sleep fights cancer. So I almost want to, you
want a t-shirt now?
Yeah, I do.
Would that be okay, I don't know. I'm not putting nothing on a t-shirt. I'm scared.
Okay. But yeah, I'm someone who,
you believe in it.
People sometimes give me a hard time because of how much I sleep, but sleep is crazy good for you. You're not one of those people, but there's other people who, you strongly encourage my love of sleep, and that's why I love you. And also that the world is not a wish granting factory.
That was cute. It's so not.
It's not.
Aww.
So it's like wishing, wanting ain't getting.
No, it's certainly not. It was just, oh man, it was just so cute and so nice. But so tell me, what parts of the book did you feel like, was there any notes negative? Like, was there anything in there that you were like, I could have had a V8?
There were no black people.
Well, it was in Indiana.
It was.
Indiana, I'm just playing. We're there.
Well, real life, Indiana is very segregated. Like, it's just now getting desegregated, and that's why they voted for Trump.
They're like, this is some bullshit.
Well, I don't like this at all.
This
it's like,
is terrible.
what are all these minorities doing here? Oh, guess what? We're the majority of the melanated people, most of the planet. Yeah. So, yeah. But I guess that would, but that still would, but that would have felt forced. I'm sure, like, it's kind of like when I watch Friends or Sex in the City. It's like, it's super messed up. You're showing this all-white version of New York, but when you try to add black people, the show gets worse because y'all don't have black writers. So
that part,
having the words that white people write come out of black mouths is sometimes just very disconcerting and like takes me out of the narrative. I always tell myself that episode, let me not go there. It's like, but yeah,
Okay.
But that's really not a criticism of the book. It's more of a criticism of the segregationist
Society.
policies of the United
Society.
States. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not
Understood.
really John Green's fault. Like, he's
No.
really makes the light. Like, he does so. He's a philanthropist for real. Like, actually, I sent you that thing. He's gonna be here for ban hunger, not books.
Ooh, that's right. You did send me that.
Yeah. Because that's why he's been in the news lately, and why I chose this book. We're in Banned Book Month.
Yes.
And
yes,
because his book, they wanted to, because of these themes, because this is technically a young adult novel, and it's in the young adult section at the library, but out in Hamilton County, which is where I believe John Green lives. I want to say he is in Noblesville. I could be wrong. They want to
his street address is 1134.
Yeah, go there.
There's business out there.
Say hi.
Okay,
He loves
right.
it. No, like, they wanted to move it out of the young adult section into the adult section because they're saying like the themes are too heavy. And hubba, they end up having sex. Like, they lose their virginity to each other.
Good for them, is what I say.
I mean, like I mentioned my daughter earlier, like, we were listening to the audiobook in the car, and so she was kind of asking me questions about it because she was coming in the middle of it. And I think it was when she went to his house to like watch a movie, and the dad was like, "No, you guys stay up here, no hanky panky in the basement." I was like, if these two cancer kids can, like, they've earned it, okay? Like,
well, not while I'm here though. That's rude. Y'all better.
I'll leave.
Y'all going down there, and that's what I'm about to say. You gotta, like, I'm not.
Yeah,
about
y'all
to
got it
like,
for the
y'all
next.
going down there and bust it down.
Man, I would be so proud of my daughter if at stage 4 cancer she was like, I don't know,
she had a
man,
libido.
I feel like I still got to get this off. I'd be like, we're unstoppable. I'd be like, yeah, like, get yours.
I was thinking, like, what if she got pregnant?
I don't think she can. Man, that's way too much chemo.
What if she did though? It's fiction.
Oh, that's true. But it was based on a real person, though. He went out of his way to be as biologically realistic as possible. Like,
so now we can't be sci-fi. I'm asking you to imagine the most fantastical stuff.
I mean, that does happen. I mean,
Wouldn't
there's been
crazy?
coma patients that get pregnant.
That is, oh my god,
isn't that really upsetting to think about? I mean, once again, the human sex drive is undefeated.
Yeah, I was happy for them mostly. I just think I'm not scared of my kids knowing about what virginity is or them losing it. And it wasn't like it was like a super.
It wasn't a play-by-play.
Explicit. Yeah,
actually, it was the sex scene in the movie was really tasteful.
Yeah, they did a good job. It wasn't crazy.
Did, and him kind of like, okay, before I take my clothes off, like, I don't want you to flip out when you see like my leg isn't,
my
like, cause he had his leg amputated because of the type of cancer he had, because he had a bone cancer. And where did it spread to? Because honestly, I can't remember.
Everywhere.
It just got everywhere.
It was, in his lungs.
I just remember him. Oh my god, he is such a good writer. It felt like this is so the opposite of the last book we read. I felt everything. Because that last book made me feel nothing. Like, but this, and it's funny because I couldn't finish either one of them for opposite reasons. Like, the first one, feeling nothing. This one, I'm feeling way too much and I'm not able to function.
Wow. So that's what's wild, is that this is why it's like, there has to be this place you can get to where it's like, okay, I know this is gonna hurt. But I have to, like, I gotta push. Because what's worse? I mean, it's worse to not finish. I mean, what was worse for you?
The other black girl. That was worse. A worse experience. Because I'll probably still finish listening to it later in the week when I'll have time to have a good cry.
Okay, there you go.
Like, I won't have to drive somewhere. Because that's the thing, when I cry, I have contacts. So, like, the salt builds up in them. So, like, it's like real issues if I start crying.
The lashes come off.
Like, for real. Yes, the lashes come off. Like, everything just... Ugh. And, like, my face swells up. Like, I can't... Like, Oprah said, the ugly cry. Like, I can't do, like, the little weepy, like... Oh, like, no. I can't do the dabby stuff.
Those are the kind of cries I do usually.
Yeah.
No, well, because then if you go to those are painful. Like, I can't take it.
Yeah, my head
every
hurts
time.
later. Yeah, I'll have a headache and.
Oh no.
But it's like, I feel so good afterwards. Like, you get it, like, crying gets
catharsis.
the sad out. You got to get it out. So,
wow, friend. Well, I will say, and I personally, I'm not intimidated by my kids learning about these themes. I mean, this is real life. These are things that, really happen. So I don't agree with it not being able to be in a young adult section. I mean, like any kind of like positive, experiences while they were dealing with their illness. So I mean, and honestly,
and
it was
sounds
just
like they
you
were
said,
responsible. On top of everything else, he did use a condom.
Yes,
like
and
so
that's
it
good.
set a good example, because you're right. Like, it's not impossible for her to get pregnant. Like, she could have, and that would have been a disaster.
That would have been crazy.
Especially because there's no way, especially because, not for nothing, pregnancy takes a toll on your heart, because there's just so much blood.
On all of your organs. And
yes.
And if she was in Indiana now with the Roe v. Wade and stuff like that, like they're trying to throw back, like you have a cancer patient who now is pregnant, and like what if it accelerated her risk of dying sooner, it's like, well, we might need to give her the medical care she needs.
I mean,
but
it
now
would be crazy to be like, there's no way
that.
either of them survive this.
Seriously.
So, like,
but you still have to try.
And I also like to bring up the unfortunate amount of young women who are by their fathers and need an abortion. I think it's insane to expect somebody. Huh?
SA.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You should be sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes, for the amount of women who are assaulted by their fathers and end up carrying their babies. Oh, did you see that thing too, where Kerry Washington found out her daddy's not her daddy?
In real life?
Yeah, she did that show, like Your Roots, like Getting to Know Your Roots, or what in one of them little shows.
So Kerry Washington is revealing that her participation in PBS's Finding Your Roots led to the discovery that she was conceived through a sperm donor. Wow, Washington says that she made the discovery after wrapping her 7-season stint on ABC's Scandal and deciding to dig into her past on the PBS series Finding Your Roots. Oh no, that's the worst way to find out. I mean, she didn't even know. Oh no, I just don't think they were gonna. Oh my. Yeah, that show's pretty. I mean, they dig in on PBS. I really do like watching those.
It is very interesting. I remember the
hard.
Anderson Cooper one. So yes, Finding Your Root. But I mean, that can. Whew. We should take a break on that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe you're right, friend. This just got deep. I didn't know nothing about this, guys. We'll be right back.
Yay, we're back.
Yeah, we're back, guys. You know?
No, we were gushing over the book during the break, guys. We can't be stopped.
Oh no, it was pretty bad.
No, I was saying in the movie, I liked how they showed them texting. Their text bubbles were super cute, and it also echoed the typography from the book cover.
It was cute.
It was super cute.
I liked it.
And I like that modern stuff has to include that now, because it's unrealistic to think that these two would be dating and not texting each other.
Yeah. Do you like whole movies that are like that though? Like when the whole movie is like,
God no.
Oh, okay.
Like it'd be like if my whole life was texting. Like I don't want the whole movie to be that. Like, yeah, I want a couple of flirty, like, hey, like, yeah, that, but like not all that. I don't want that to be my whole day.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like I've seen a movie recently where it was like, it was through that whole lens of like, it was almost like it was like through the camera of your computer screen kind of thing. So
yeah,
that's taking it all the way out. But yeah, I was telling Kat that I really enjoyed the way that they gave these characters life, especially because with their illness, a lot of times you are just reduced down to your illness. So it was cool to see characters explore, falling in love for the first time, and like the flirty texts and all of that kind of stuff. Because you just don't think about people like that. You don't. But of course they want love still. Like, of course you don't get cancer and then instantly be like, you know what, I'm good on life now. Everything's gonna be about cancer now. And so much of your life is probably like that you do have to carve out that. You aren't, like, what's your story? Like, I love that he asked her that, like, what's your story? And she was like, I already told you my story. And he was like, not your sixth story. Like, not like, what do you like,
Right.
And,
Not the stuff you say in front of Bald Tim or Patrick,
Balls Guy Patrick or whoever. Balls Guy Patrick. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like
yes.
him, that guy again, that Yahoo. So, yeah, I really like that aspect of him just giving and breathing life into those characters and seeing them just through that superhuman lens, and how you pointed out that like all of our stories are actually this sad because at some point we're going to leave each other. And I think that that's what it's highlighting, but it gets accelerated, I guess, because of their scenario. But
right.
I just wasn't
we just see
expecting
it as super sad, but
yes, but it is just all sad.
But it was also beautiful.
Yes. Because it matters to us.
Yes.
Our stories matter to us. And
it does.
Our love.
That made me almost believe in love again.
Damn.
Yeah. And the power that it gives.
I ain't saying all that. No, not in the power that it gives.
I wanna listen. We're still in R&B mode. At least I am.
know.
Between the R&B and then this movie, I'm like, yeah, like maybe.
And my birthday, all the birthday love. You guys, honestly, it was a whole love fest. So we're just very emotional this week. It was a lot going on.
Oh boy, are we? Oh man,
So
but
much love.
I think I handled it great.
You did amazing. And how do you rate it? Speaking of how you handled it, great.
I'm not even gonna be fancy because they talked about stars. Like it's 5 out of 5 stars.
I like it. Yay.
Yes.
I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 nasal cannulas because you like that word so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're
then
welcome.
that means there's 10 holes.
Yes, a lot. Yes.
I love that part where she let the little girl breathe through it. Even though it probably wasn't sanitary.
See, I couldn't like it because of that. I was like, see, that's nasty. That's nasty.
And you have a compromised immune system.
You know what I'm saying? You're making poor choices out here.
She's like, whatever. It's like, I'm living reckless. I'm going to Amsterdam. I'm going to jump on this dick. And
let's go. Okay. I'm about to do all the things. And drink this champagne.
Mm-hmm. And it is a reminder to, get it while the getting is good. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Like, enjoy it. Like, have ice cream for breakfast. I remember one time I was like, you know what? I'm going to have ice cream for breakfast because I wanted to do that as a kid. And you know who gave it to me with no judgment? Chick-fil-A. Pulled up at 10 a.m., asked for an ice cream cone, and they told me to have a great day.
And I did. Amen to that.
I needed a little cheering up. So yeah, be good to yourself. Your body belongs to you. Have some fun with it.
It does.
I command it.
I know. We really need t-shirts, friend. I need you to mock those up instantly. I think those would sell. This is such a good reminder. But you know what? Let's spin this wheel real quick. All right, guys, spin it.
Okay, guys, we are going to be reading Roald Dahl's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. And it's also been adapted into a short film on Netflix, directed by Wes Anderson and starring Benedict Cumberbatch. And it's I'm very excited to talk about it. Like, anybody who's a Roald Dahl fan, he's a fantastic storyteller. I think James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, and he did other stuff too.
I like it a lot.
We're going to read it, and I get it. Listen, he is a white man. We're doing 2 white men in a row.
I get it.
I mean, what do you want from us? We're sorry. It's just...
What, you're apologizing? Not the
I know, I'm apologizing. Actually, it's the wheel's fault. We don't even come up with this. This is the wheel. So blame the wheel for picking 2 white dudes in a row. That's the wheel, yo.
The wheel, we might need to get it tuned up or something, maybe. Spread it out.
Yeah.
Wheel.
Be like, hey, why is there no... This wheel needs more diversity.
Yeah, the diversity wheel.
But he didn't... Technically, this was an American writer this week, and this Roald Dahl is from Wales, so that's diverse.
Yeah, and I think that's good to point out that sometimes diversity isn't always just like, are there black people there? I mean, it can be the fact that like these characters were people who were, they had cancer, or you're an amputee. That's diversity too, and those stories
It is.
need
And they
voices as
matter.
well, and they do matter. And so I'm excited about it. Sorry to this man. I don't know who he is, but I'm gonna do some learning like I did last week, guys. You know,
But you're familiar with his work?
Yes, Matilda. I know about that one.
Yeah. And like I said, that's
Yep.
how the media listen. Yay.
Yeah.
Because he's
Learning.
I'm pretty sure he's gone. We'll find out. But it's like
Gone?
This continue. Is he? I feel like he dead. He not dead.
Oh, dead, gone. Okay, I'm sorry. You said gone. I'm like, where? From whence did he go? I don't know. It's late. I can't.
It is. This is way later. We are up way past our bedtimes.
I know, in real life. So yeah, with that, guys, I guess we should probably get out of here. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to share with the people, anything coming up before we go.
No.
You're not painting topless anywhere.
I wish. I mean, my house.
Oh, okay. Well, don't go there, guys. You're not invited.
No.
But okay, so
No,
no
I
events or
don't
anything like that.
think so.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I told you
mean,
I'm
that's
trying
fine.
to wind stuff down. I've been feeling a little overwhelmed lately.
okay. Well, take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
you.
Stay
I will.
home. Do the things. You guys, it's been fun. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. There was tears of joy and happiness and a little
And
sadness.
sadness.
Yeah, it was good though. You guys should definitely check it out. If you don't want to read the book, check the movie out. But just be ready to, like experience a lot of feelings and stuff like that. So I'm glad I did it. It felt really great. It felt really on brand for this week. Feeling a lot of gratitude, like I said. And really enjoyed that unexpectedly. Like I didn't think I wouldn't like it, but I just didn't expect to love it. So that was a nice surprise.
Yeah. It's
you
a
added love
classic.
to my life, so that's awesome. Thank you.
Yay, I'm so glad. Yay. Thank you, books.
Who doesn't need more of that? I know. See, guys, see what books could be doing for you. Read a book.
Mhm.
Or listen to us talk about books we read.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. So follow us, guys, social media at the Fab Podcast. I already told you to sign up for the Patreon. And yeah, come back next week because we'll be here. So peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again. And until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.